strings without me knowing. Why do I have to suffer through the thinking? Why do I have the feeling that we're sinking? I need to find a way. What's all this for? It's got me turned around, but I can't ignore the feelings that I found in this whole damn thing that we got going. You hold the strings without me knowing. Why do I have to suffer through the thinking? Why do I have the feeling that we're sinking? I need to find a way. Find a way. Find a way. Find a way out. Find a way out.
Good evening, ladies and gents, and welcome to the first week of the SCL Fall Season 2021, presented by Brock.ch. Well, uh, new season starts with, I'd say, a dream come true for me because I get to cast not only CSGO, but I get to cast CSGO alongside a CSGO legend. Good evening, Karos. How are you doing?
Doing mighty fine, thank you. And such a massive thank you for joining me today. I would have been in quite a predicament, to be quite honest. So good to have you here, and it's actually quite a pleasure to have you here.
Yeah, well, I played some CSGO, even if people don't think so. I think I got like 400 hours. I know, not a big rack of hours, but
Massive.
I also watched a lot of CSGO because I don't know. I like pro CSGO because when it's played on a high level, it just looks so nice.
It
And
is. It's still one of the most entertaining and exciting games to spectate anyway.
yeah,
Like
and
in general.
today I think we have a really good match to start off with between mYinsanity and Babos Gaming, kind of two of
Yeah.
the bigger Swiss German organizations out there clashing. What do you think you have for us, or what do you think they have for us in store?
Well, I think I know fairly well what mYinsanity have for us. I've seen them quite a lot recently. So they're certainly a force to be reckoned with. Absolutely massive in the firepower department, no doubt. Top fraggers all around, really. It's quite creepy to go up against them these days. Damon, obviously, especially one of the all-time greats for me, at least, to spectate because he exhibits such a phenomenal game sense all the time. It's actually irritating at times. That's how good he is, and how incredibly aware of every single position at all times, really. So really careful player and tons of fun to watch. mYinsanity in general, quite a loose team, I would say. Quite a I don't necessarily like the term puggy, but I guess on mYinsanity's side, it still fits somewhat, at least. But they are making progress, and it's looking like really solid these days. So yeah, massive opponent for Babos Gaming here. Babos Gaming, for me personally, a little bit a bigger question mark. I do think back to that team with a lot of pleasure, really. Back to the last season, for example. Super impressive teamwork, very clear tactics, and really nice executes and retakes. So, uh, in my mind, at least, it's a little bit a well structured team going up against a very loosey goosey kind of team. The loosey goosey team in this moment is mYinsanity. Um, that's kind of my general idea, at least now before the game.
Yeah,
Whoever comes on top, though, is a very tricky question for me, especially since I am aware of what maps we do play. And that always comes into consideration, doesn't it?
it does, and I mean, we only talked about it when the Premier Division qualifier took place, and I chatted with you and Linux, who casted back then with you, and both of you were you know, you were both pretty sure that mYinsanity would take the Premier Division slot, and yeah, they played Poggy, but if you frag, it doesn't matter how Poggy you play, right?
Absolutely.
No threat can save you if you just straight up get out fragged, and I wonder where the balance is going to be today between how much frag power can mYinsanity bring versus how much does it even matter if there are good executed strats from the side of Babos Gaming. Um,
Absolutely, no doubt. Yeah, it is going to be a bit of a toss up, and certainly a lot of it comes down to daily form. Not every day you perform to your absolute best. And maybe Bubbles Gaming do have a slight advantage to fall back on a bit more structure there. But as you say, if mYinsanity comes out guns blazing, it's going to be a massive slaughter and certainly a great showdown between these two teams. And in my honest opinion, it should go either way.
Yeah, and coming out against Slaughter, look at that. mYinsanity, I think those 5 frags went down in what? 3 seconds or something, and
Yep.
first round already won
Sounds
from the
about
side
right.
of mYinsanity. So that went fast, and now obviously we already see them grabbing some smaller guns here, and I think they want to go hunting here.
The 4 MP9s, you know, it's a statement, right? They do have a rifle, but even that is only for FAMAS. Just to make sure you got your plenty of utility. And the MP9s, obviously, they're here to farm money. They're here to not really let Babos Gaming get a comfortable start into this map. The map, by the way, Overpass, obviously picked by Babos Gaming into mYinsanity, which is, for me personally, almost a bit surprising because it is also one of mYinsanity's favorite maps. So they do tend to pick it quite often, quite regularly, and they look really, really good on it. So as we see the terrorists here make their move onto the A side, slowly but surely, HTM takes care of the short push, and that leaves the bomb carrier pretty much on his lonesome on side. He goes down as well as his teammate over on B.
And there we go. Second round
Clean
gone.
up for mYinsanity, and you wouldn't expect it any other way.
Just a matter of seconds again, but now obviously the next round coming in, rifles also on the side of Babos Gaming, 5 of them to be
Absolutely, which
true.
obviously could mean quite a big deal here, going up still against SMGs mostly. They certainly are in the driver's seat for at least this one round here. All the more important that they do convert. So should mYinsanity manage to come out victorious here and go up 3-0, it would throw Babos Gaming obviously right back onto an eco, and that would mean a very, very strong start for the CT side here indeed. Very timid start though. Babos Gaming not really wanting to give up too much here.
Already in the first 2 rounds, so it was like, okay, the very first round was really fast, but you always had that like kind of slow start, and then all of a sudden everyone is collapsing, and then 5 frags happen, and that's the round like gone in a matter of 10 seconds. Now we see a slower approach coming in here from Babos, and they're trying the bang here. Didn't quite work
I like
out.
the sort of delayed B executes. They did throw a couple of smokes without actually executing onto the side. So far, it only gave mYinsanity time though to rotate the third player here onto the side, so they are set up quite nicely. And in the meantime, obviously, we do see HTM in middle, strolling farther and farther to find information. Then that confirms it. The push onto the side commences. 5 players with AK, 1 dead already in Yuli, but the trades out there. Pretty solid cleanup here, and a very, very solid take here for Babos Gaming.
And
Simu even connecting, completely blinded.
only HTM left there. So how much would you value the 2 rifles for side being mYinsanity now that they kinda made Babos Gaming lose here? Is that a deal breaker? Can they manage with the less economy they have, or?
That's losing 2 players in general is absolutely fine. You know, like the magic number in general is like 3 players. As long as you got 3 players alive at the end of the round, you tend to build up your economy. So especially on the T side, which obviously is quite well known, is much cheaper than the CT side. It's really not a really big deal.
Yeah,
Double up setup is interesting for mYinsanity, by the way, just to have a quick look at that.
Yeah,
Nice
talking
frag
about
there.
the double up. Anton already
Exactly. Anton absolutely stomping on Simu. And yeah, double up setup in round 4. It is letting you know what mYinsanity is up to. They will most likely play a tremendous amount of rounds with a double up setup. And obviously that makes it so much harder to find picks early on in the round, and they do tend to stand somewhat defensively on the CT side.
Yeah, you somehow gotta first use some time to scout out those. Oh my god, those ops. And Anton, that's 4 kills. He nearly got the 5th as well, but no rules there to clean him up. And now he's in a 1v2 situation with barely any HP left. FAMAS coming in, and they're even on the other op. Easy takeout there.
Almost
and yeah.
almost a bit impressive actually that it ended up being a 1v2 situation while Anton completely deleted the whole terrorist team on his own.
Yeah, only one more frag to go it was, but yeah, it's the two operators that are kind of intimidating, right? Because you have to invest some resources first in finding out, okay, what lanes are those upholding, not operators, that's Valorant. Close enough though.
Okay, you saved yourself.
Yeah.
I was about to drop.
Yeah,
drop a mean comment.
I just realized, but it's okay. I got myself, and
Fair
but
play.
yeah, it's no different in Valorant there though. Like you're right, you have to find out where are they holding and how can we approach that. And Babos nearly managed to do so this time around. They're taking another approach. This time they're going in fast because all they have is those pistols.
Oh my goodness, if Anton makes it out alive though, that's massive.
one.
Even getting the kill on Yuli.
Ah, but there's
Finally gets traded by Breaker. And as long as those Tech 9s keep flying, they're so incredibly dangerous. I feel like I'm keep on repeating myself. The Tech 9s, they are making a comeback, I'm telling you. They're so tricky to deal with. People are flying across the map with them, and the first bullet accuracy is absolutely off the charts, of course, and that makes it so incredibly dangerous.
Ooh, look at that, Mosh.
Bit of a free kill onto Breaker. But the after-plant positions are solid. I mean, there's no real entry back into the round here for mYinsanity. Players are too far away, but Bomb has been ticking for way too long now. And Babos Gaming, not only do they win with pistols only, I was just about to say, they might make it out with 3 rifles.
But Mosh, it's just taking them out one by one. So only one rifle to stay, but it's a big rifle, right? Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. And with pretty much no investment into that round, Babos Gaming's looking mighty fine here. On the other hand, of course, mYinsanity, they took a beating right there.
Yeah, now it's their turn. They're not going for the Tech 9s, they're going for the Deagles with Devon on the AWP. So let's see how that works out, but I feel like Babos, they don't care. They're just running in there. Trading 1 for 1 here.
AWP is still up, but still 2 Deagles on site. Could still be somewhat tricky. SFS losing a 5. HTM in time, sliding in from short, takes out the bomb planter. That makes it so much more awkward. Finally, way too late. A smoke is placed on short, but there is a massive gap there that could be exploited.
Breaker, he's trying, but they're rotating over to the A side now.
Yeah, smart move. Bring distance between you and your enemy. That forces them to basically follow them up. Oh, they're not careful about that. They're gonna fall out. Running, so positions are known. Breaking and no rules should be able to convert this. And Daven, as well as HTM, honestly, they
Breaker
start thinking about keeping those rifles. It's so difficult to make it out onto site here. An early frag would have been worth its weight in gold, but HTM at this point, he's gonna crawl out of there.
Should Breaker take the second up here? It's right next to him, right?
On the T side, that would probably be a stretch. You do tend to be much less mobile with an AWP, and while it is brilliant to find entries and open up sides, or at least put some pressure on the defending side, having 2 AWPs hampers you so much in executes. It's actually very seldom that you see a team go for a double up setup on a T side.
Yeah, I mean, once you have the plant, then after that, to play the after plant, that's probably pretty good, but you gotta get the plant right, so...
That's
the hard part about it, but... Let's see, it seems like after those 2 pretty fast rounds, they're taking a slower approach here again, like we've seen in the earlier rounds.
Yeah, fully aware, of course, that the CTs are absolutely broken economy-wise. HM really single rifle in their hands. Anton might make it work with the Deagle once again. Good opening frag there for the CTs. Trade comes through from Yuli. Good find by Simu onto Anton in connector. Obviously, he had to expect him to be there. And that's the rifle gone. Babos Gaming, as long as they do stick together, make sure the trades work out. A little bit of a tactical weapon switch there. Like it. Simu taking over the AWP. Probably just holding a line towards stairs. And what an insane frag by Damon
Holy.
to break it.
Oh, and
That was
look at
gonna sting
Babos.
it.
Babos is
Babos
behind.
with the monster move, and the last bullet actually connects onto Simu's head. Now this is making it very, very awkward here.
Oh, important frag though on the point, but now it's just no rules and.
Once again, an instant trade.
Can he get that? Oh, he scouted the first position, but Mushi, he's playing that rather smartly now, and
Oh, right then. Denied. Alright, mYinsanity, they do hold on. Keep the lead, 4-3. And in what a fashion, Bacchus, especially with that super fast flank, actually completely caught him by surprise.
yeah, and now it's mYinsanity back with a good echo. I mean, Babos is still, they're in a pretty good spot right now, but important round for them now. And Anton, he's just a beast so far.
Absolutely monster with the AWP. And I like the fact that he keeps switching positions. That obviously makes it so much more difficult to predict where the AWPs are playing from. And time and time again, losing a player so early in a round makes it actually really awkward to progress anywhere on the map. And all they really do right now is basically hold for any more CT aggression, which is most likely not going to come in because mYinsanity are sitting pretty on a man advantage, and they are 100% aware of that. So Babos Gaming, they will elect to try to be hit once again.
Let's see. He doesn't know what we know. There's two guys right around the corner. Execute coming in and Mush falls first, so now mYinsanity, they kind of have to fall back down as holding the angle there with his up, but doesn't quite work out, and Babos, they get onto the spot here.
Yeah, slightly surprised by Bacchus's play there. Staying wide in the open without much chance
What?
actually getting into cover. Anton once again. Such a bang. And the flank, even predicted by Breaker this time around. HTM not going to find a single frag. And that leaves Anton in it pretty much.
Oh, gets the first
Position
one.
here. Yeah. Trade is there though. And once again, not completely agreeing with those plays there. 1v2 AWP in hand, sure you can find one, but if you can't split them effectively without them actually getting a positional advantage on you, that makes it almost impossible to win the round in the end. So
Yeah,
Babos Gaming, yeah, once again, they do equalize 4-4. Looking good so far on both sides, I have to admit.
yeah, pretty close game so far, and let's remember this is Babos' map pick, if I recall correctly, so
That is true.
they should be feeling comfortable here.
Yeah, not the most brilliant buys here on either team, really, so it is going to be a big one, and most likely whoever loses this is going to be sitting on a pistol-only round again.
Oh. Those have worked out quite well so far today, though, right?
It's
Tech
not,
Tech
it's
9
not a
round,
guarantee for a,
Deagle
for a
round.
round win, no doubt about it. Look at the
Julio.
Okay then.
1-for-1 trade, though.
Simu. Guess the trade frag somewhat gifted.
I don't
Look
think
at the position
this...
from Mush here. That could be absolutely crucial if he picks up the bomb while they're actually rotating, and the bomb's not silent. He's running. Here
And
is
you
it.
got him. And
That's
that's
an easy shot.
That's an AWP
Oh,
as well. Don't
It's
forget
not
about
an easy
that.
shot, but it is.
Now he's
But
on the run, though.
he needs to stay alive though, and with 3 players coming to get him, that's pretty much undoable. And once again, Anton, AWP, he should just save it. There's just no use. All he can get is maybe one more frag, and
Can he save it,
fair
though?
play.
He's kind of in a corner, right? I mean, he gets the first one, but 2 more to go.
Yeah, 2 more to go. And he knows, obviously, that every single weapon now lost by Babos is actually going to be somewhat important. But then again, having an AWP to play with could mean so much more in the upcoming round. And as I said, they are sitting on roughly $2,000 to $2,500 on each player. That mYinsanity side, that is. So it is an eco, pretty much a full eco. Only a smoke and one single flash being bought. That's going to be used apparently for a bit of a cheeky play inside connector, I would assume. Never mind, David's actually the one with the utility. It's going to be interesting to see what mYinsanity is actually expecting from this round. Probably not all that much.
Yeah, but that could be the first round where Babos actually gets a 2-point lead, right? So
Exactly.
maybe some momentum to build up here and see where it goes from there.
I am getting slightly nervous seeing how the CTs can pounce here, for example, on this B short player. It is Yuli once again. So far he's holding on.
Got another one.
Finding a second one.
Ah, look at the confidence. He wants that third one. Gets the Guardian here.
With the Mach 10 as well. Okay, never mind. USP will do the job. Yeah, I was slightly worried to see Babos Gaming completely split and almost surrounded by all the CTs, but Yuli, I guess.
There he's taken out
not
finally.
A for him. And that would have been the 4th kill found with a pistol by Babos Gaming in a full buy round. Okay, finally. Southie will actually find one with the AK. Just make sure we're not forgetting 2 pistol teams going up against each other.
Yeah, I mean, why use rifles when you can just use pistols, right?
Yeah, apparently, if you're Babos Gaming, it works out. But then again, mYinsanity, they did not have head armor, so there's that.
Yeah, and mYinsanity now this time around coming in with a full buy as well, so yeah, we got everything against everything now, so that's a good round for both teams, and let's see if Babos can actually build up more momentum and take away that rifle round, or if mYinsanity is gonna inch up to 1 round difference again.
Yep. I like how Babos Gaming keeps on baiting out utility from the CTs quite early on, actually. Kind of faking a fast B execute. Letting quite a lot of utility, Molotov smokes, etc. That obviously weakens them significantly once the real hit comes in. So
I feel like you can see whether they're just gonna rush in or not, just by whether they're dropping the bomb at the start or not. Because every time they've done that, like they've just dropped the bomb and they were just peeking around, seeing where the opponents are, baiting out some utility, and when they're happy, they're gonna pull the trigger, just like they're doing now, going in. A 2-for-2 trade here, immediately smoking the molly there, but positions have already been grabbed. Julio, oh, he doesn't see him. There we go, finishes it off, and now it's a 3-2.
Wizard. How could he stay alive for so long? That's actually impressive. And Babos Gaming's B takes are really, really solid. They have been favoring it, I feel like, in buy rounds, so might very well see more of that. HTM, 2 very solid frags, and that makes it, well, as I say that, I do realize both CTs are already saving. Would have made it almost possible to retake here, but this 1 round they did not go for it. Kept their rifles alive, and so will Yuli.
Yeah, and they're pulling away, so for a bit at least. mYinsanity opting for the pistol round again. Deagle it is. It seems Deagle is the weapon of their choice in pistol rounds. And we've seen, yeah, Anton and Mush, they have been quite good on the Deagle so far. So shouldn't, as you said before, even if you have rifles, it's not a safe round yet. You still have to win it.
Certainly, and keep in mind, HTM and Anton, they still have their rifles from last round.
Yeah,
so
true.
If they can get into positions where they can have impact somewhat early on, good little pre-fire into it. So happy there. Ooh, Mush had a chance.
Oh, but didn't expect a push coming in. Trade back happened though.
Daven obviously makes Babos Gaming aware that at least 2 players currently sitting on the B side.
Yeah, but they're still scouting for now. Now we see no rules. He's gonna go pick up the bomb, and they're gonna make a decision. And I think
Oh,
the
that's
decision.
massive.
Ooh, I thought the
Okay.
decision was gonna be clear, and it seems like it still is gonna be clear, as they're opting for that B side again. And oh, I think that's not what Anton wanted there.
Probably not. But Babos Gaming, they stick to their game plan. Onto B we go. They know Anton's on an AWP, so they will be careful about heaven. Okay, Simu finds HCM through the smoke in heaven.
Yeah, and Anton already running away. Obviously, AWP. He wants to save it, and slowly but surely, Babos is getting the hang of it.
Yeah, definitely. And keep in mind they do play the T side right now, arguably the less favored side. So mYinsanity, they need to get ready for a really strong T half on their own. But for right now, name of the game is keep on grinding on those CT rounds for them. Or just won't cut it. I'm gonna be blunt about it. At least they should be looking at... Yeah, 6 rounds would be okay-ish. 7, probably what they're aiming for, obviously. That's the maximum they can still get, and it certainly would help a lot.
Yeah, a lot of utility coming out here right at the start of the round, and this time around Babos opted for the fast route. Not sure if it's gonna work out. Traded 1 for 1 so far. But Anton, man, that guy is finding some crazy fracks so far.
That was an absolutely ballsy play there. The first one is already quite impressive. That he makes it out alive there, even more impressive still. And to go out and go for a second trade, that's massive. Southie almost losing the first tool here on the B side, and Mush close by, gets flashed in for a peek, takes care of the terrorist in Monster. Remaining 2, good find by Simu. Daven hits the ground, and only 1 man left here. 50 seconds on the clock. There is still time for a move.
And they're playing it slow again. 50 seconds, so yeah, still time
And
for a move, or still
yeah,
time to chill, you know?
And instantly you see Bacchus actually heading right back up towards A to make sure they're not running to the other bomb side. In the meantime, he loses his teammate on B, and that's gonna make it a bit tricky here. 1v2, sure, Simu's very low, but no rules.
You know, position doesn't get the frag though, swings around now. Ooh, barely gets them, 5 HP left. Has to go up against an op, but ALG got it. That's the 9th round, so if they want to go for those 6 rounds, they have to win the last 2 rounds. But they're not gonna make a full buy here, obviously. They're opting for their deagles again, so just a deagle round. Let's see if it's gonna be a worth deagle round. And look at them. It seemed like they wanted to play a bit more aggressive here. Wouldn't be the first time that Anton is just walking through a smoke.
True, very true. And you do need to get into favorable positions, obviously, being up against the full buy with only deagles. As of right now, they are quite content with holding B short. Certainly a lot of information gained by that. Makes it almost impossible to execute onto the B side as long as they do have 1 man there. And obviously, not getting any contact means brunt of Babos Gaming is actually approaching the A side, and just then and there, Breaker takes the first one down. Trades are coming in though. And Damon already. He could... Ooh, I would have loved to see him go towards T-spawn. Meantime though, Babos Gaming, pressure on A is rising. The plant is gonna get pushed through, and there we go. Really widespread Babos Gaming here. And it should be pretty much a cleanup. Well, Damon though,
He's got that rifle to work with, so 1v2 situation, doable maybe, but surely has info on one player, but doesn't know about Simu's position. And doesn't matter in the end though, as Yuli 4 kills this round. Strong performance so far.
Yep, very true. And already Babos Gaming sitting pretty on double digits. 10-4, one more round to go.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that they did start to work more towards middle and A. These early rounds here, in the last couple of rounds. That certainly took away the idea of stacking B heavier.
We have a double AWP setup again though by mYinsanity, like in one of the first rounds.
Oh, Safi almost with a free entry onto Anton. Just barely missed him. Certainly will keep him honest though. Mush getting ready for a pop flash into long. Anton most likely will be holding that angle for him. Brilliant boost from Shota Yuli. Let's get one of the AWPs gone, at least for now. And HTM moving into connector, might be greeted by no rules in just a second. There we go. Pick found, and that now gives Babos Gaming literally every opening that they could wish for. Significantly weakened A bomb site and still presence towards B. That to me looks very much like an 11-4 scoreline to close the first half. Daven probably last chance to find a multi-kill here on A. Here's one stepping past, and that's a double!
Collateral.
And that's a bomb! And he knows the third one's coming, he gets him as well, no rules, goes down, slides right into his crosshair. And just like that, what a monster play by Dave, and actually saves the round for mYinsanity. 5 seconds left, there's no time to plant anyway. And that was brilliant, absolutely marvelous. And played to perfection by Dave.
Yeah, that collateral to start things off, and it was even more important because the timer, right? It was like, what, 15 seconds left after the bomb was dropped because one of the guys died. So Babos had no choice but either going for the bomb immediately and try to plant, which probably wouldn't have been enough time anyways, or, well, try to get the last 2 frags, but neither of them worked.
They had... The third player certainly had to go for the trade onto Taven, because if he stays alive, the round's over anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's another highlight for sure.
Yeah.
Yuli, cheeky little push up. Almost into T-spawn. That's the second frag found by Babos. And an incredibly aggressive CT pistol round coming out here. Simu on the rotate up from B. Might be finding himself in a 1v1 against the bomb here. Good trade found by Breaker onto HTM. Simu takes care of Anton, and that leaves Mush all by his lonesome. Sure, he got the bomb, but quite frankly, it would be a small miracle if he even is allowed to get a plant anyway.
Oh, got the first one though, but yeah, refrag coming in from Simu. And that's the 11th round here, but I think a pause has been called right now. Let's see if that gets resolved quickly or not.
Well, I could imagine it to be a tactical even for mYinsanity, because it is last chance saloon. They need to turn it around right now. Well, maybe not in this round, but okay, never mind. They actually go all in here. Deagles against SMGs, sure, not the worst bet, but if they lose it, Babos Gaming most likely is going to run away with it.
Yeah.
A lot riding on this one.
I mean, that would be 2 more free round, or free in quotation mark rounds afterwards, right? So you're sitting at 14.
That's right, and it's a long way back from 5 to 14.
Yeah, so there's the unpause coming in. So Deagles, it was actually attack. Deagles coming in. How should they play it, in your opinion? Should they just do what Babos kind of did and push out aggressively somewhere one side?
It's a tough call. Seeing how Babos Gaming actually played that pistol round, You need to be careful of any aggression, really.
Look at the
And it
two
will be
Babos
boosted.
players.
Yeah, exactly. Breaker. And Simu once again. Very aggressively looking for information, and that is certainly an opening here. Well, never mind, no rules actually stomps it right away with a double kill. In connector, spots a third player, swings around, shooting, and that's Daven gone as well. And sure, HTM did salvage the M4, but two turrets are very much split. And there is still Breaker to deal with, lurking around toilets, so he'd be on an instant flank. But look at that, the bomb actually... Are they trying to hit B? HM finding Safi, and the bomb still needs to make it past Breaker. He's gonna be very much aware.
Oh, got the knife in hand
indeed.
though. Yeah, now it's all up to HCM. He has enough time to work with, but obviously Babos, they know exactly where the bomb is. Bragg coming in doesn't harm anyone, and yeah, they're just giving him a tough life here.
Yeah, very much. He would have to ace it with a salvaged rifle. Sure, he does have Kevlar and armor, and the helmet, but not much HP to play with, and there we go, no rules with the SMG. High rate of fire will take care of your terrorist problems. Babos Gaming, 12-5. mYinsanity, they can't really go for a buy again. Upgraded pistols, sure, fair enough. So, similar chances maybe, like last time around, but this time going up against... Actually, pretty much the same armament here on the CT side like before, so they didn't necessarily upgrade.
I mean, do they need to upgrade? I don't.
No,
Well,
absolutely
right?
not.
That's the point. Like, why make it expensive if you can make it cheap?
Exactly, and obviously they know they're up against pistols again, so might as well keep on farming with those SMGs, right?
Yeah,
A lot of terrorist presence here on shore. Julie swings out from connector. Needs to be aware that they will keep pushing him.
oh, gets another one, but then runs out of ammo on his rifle. But it's just up to HM. Let's see. Doesn't even get fragged there on no rules, and that's the 13th round. So Bubbles, they're getting closer and closer to the first map win here.
Yeah,
in the fall season.
Honest to God, in what a dominant fashion are they doing that? I wondered whether it might be a bit of a risky move to play Overpass against mYinsanity. They are proving me completely and utterly wrong here. mYinsanity so far really struggling to hold anything against Babos Gaming, and look at that. They opted not to upgrade their rifles, but rather to go for an aggressive play into middle. Sure, it didn't quite work out like they had planned, but as long as Safi might find one or two more players, that's almost worth it, I would say. And he's in prime position to do so. He's gonna hit the timing on Mush. He most likely will have crossed for good, and probably hurt them coming closer, so Daven.
Oh, the timing though. Two of them.
Gets found.
Yeah, two of them are already through. Oh, he takes a big hit there. 24 HP. I just wanted to say he hit the prime timing for that.
Yeah.
But now he kind of has to. I mean, they have the money, right? He can go for it.
I would go for that. I would go for that. Go for economic damage as much as you can. And mYinsanity obviously is aware of that. There we go. Good flash from Daven. Allows Mush to peek and win the fight pretty securely. But yeah, Safi, he needs to go for that. Needs to take rifles away from them wherever he can. But I guess one kill is decent already. So the mYinsanity economy certainly could be better, and they're still sitting below 2k on each player. So nothing too much to worry about for Babos Gaming right now.
Yeah, a little boost.
On the other hand, they of course have to force again. And that's a good entry there by Bacchus onto Simu. That's one of the M4s, I believe.
Oh, look
Going
at
down.
that. Breaker is pushing through the smoke here, but Mush, he's waiting for that. So second kill here for myi. And that gives them some numbers advantage, but even though then, like, they're also playing it slow, like Babos did, just now getting the bomb again now that they have dropped at their spawn, and now making a decision as Mush got the third one here, so 4v2 scenario coming up.
A big decision to be made here by Babos Gaming. I would expect them to start stacking up together to somewhere, to at least have a somewhat fighting chance.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're actually doing here.
Yeah.
Flash is coming out though, so that
Collecting on
AWP.
basketball. They don't actually have someone on site, so it is certainly not quite as nice of a defense as you would like it to be. Yuli, good first find, swings around, finds HDM as well, and into 2v2, although short-lived. Focus with frag, no rules, big whiff. That's gonna sting, that would have given him a decent chance. By now, almost impossible to make it even a little out alive. You could see the shadow for a second there.
Nice
Indeed,
shot
finds
though.
Bacchus.
Yeah, but no way he's gonna go for the defuse. Maybe
No.
maybe he can get the rifle though off of Devon. No, okay, no. Devon is taking a smart route. But still, that's a costly round for mYinsanity, right? They have to get 4 new rifles here.
Indeed. Unfortunately for Babos Gaming, they won't have anything to hold against that. So they will be...
Oh, that's not the
all
way
on-
you want to start off the round.
Jesus. Knifing your teammate in 2021. At the start of a round, that's awkward, to say the least. No rules, obviously. Would have to go super aggressive with that AWP. Kind of try to get a rifle in the hands of your teammates. But mYinsanity not really looking to give them any chance here. Right onto B side we go. Close the distances as far as you can, and that's a clean take. Might as well once again keep that AWP for the next round. Okay. That's weird.
Oh, that jump to scout the position of Bacchus. It seems like they're not done here yet. Simu gets frag, and that's the timing for no rules to get out of his sniper position as well. Time's ticking. First one's falling, Simu down as well, so eventually still around going over to the side of mYinsanity.
And finally, it feels like an eternity since Babos Gaming had a real proper buy round. Finally, we are back at it again.
Oh, that's because they never really had a full buy round in the second half, did they?
I don't think so, yeah.
Weird to think of it, you know, since they won like what, the first 2 or 3 rounds?
Quite strange indeed. mYinsanity quite quickly taking care of a lot of map control. Breaker, solid first find onto Mush, that's halfway through smoke. And Norulus needs to get the first trade instantly. Swings out though, a little bit too antsy. Right into the arm of Davin. Southie, good swing. Finds the lonesome Anton. And that's going to be the favor once again in CT half. As Bacchus and Davin try their best to still make it onto the side. Breaker not expected to sit in that position, and that's going to be an easy double spray down. And Babos Gaming indeed finally making it to 14.
Yeah, and the money on mYi's side is rather low right now, so another good old deagle round it's gonna be. And if they're not making this one work, well then they are with their backs against the wall for the rest of the game.
Absolutely, they have been playing on borrowed time for a bit now. managed to sneak a couple of more rounds in. Good find by Anton.
Anton.
Okay, that's slightly awkward. Southie absolutely not covered whatsoever.
Second one, not so much in the favor of Anton though, as Breaker takes him out, and now there's the 4v4 scenario.
mYinsanity taking a page out of Babos Gaming's book. Setting up to converge onto the B side. We still have Breaker together with Yuli there. A somewhat passive setup. Breaker needs to be ready, finds the first one. Yuli being a bit of an distraction there.
And Simu from the
nice
top.
shot onto HDM, yeah.
Yeah, now that they have one person more than them, they can swing around. Trading 1-for-1 it might be even favorable here if they time it well, and yeah, well, there's the timing, so to speak.
There we go. Map point for the side of Babos Gaming. As mYinsanity is...
That's
Gonna
seven rounds to work with.
Certainly should be enough. But then again, mYinsanity, solid buy coming through for them. Even an AWP on Anton, and we know exactly how dangerous he can be with that. So better be ready not to give up any early frags here on the CT side. Should certainly be the aim for Babos Gaming. And once again, really cool aggressive positions taken there towards middle. Mush absolutely stomped by nades. That's gonna be a freebie.
Well, Anton is still alive, so he'd like to have a word with you about that. But obviously, 4v5 situation, not the best way to start it off if you actually have to win that round. mYinsanity, they're just chilling here. They're just chilling here, slowly creeping up towards the B bomb side, and Daven probably gonna go grab up the bomb and join them just in a moment.
Yeah, once again, similar setup like before on the CT side. mYinsanity is allowed to creep out on basically right under their noses onto the B side. Finally, HDM makes his presence known. Molotov towards Breaker's position, but he finds the frag in time to reposition close to the smoke. Might actually push through that. Finds a second one. Gets down by Daven, but 3v2 favor still lies on the CT side. Bomb about to get planted now. Can they hold on to it? And with that, the map so far. Daven finding his solid frag onto Suimu. Norwal's falls as well to Anton, and all in the hands of Southie now coming in from short. Daven's very much ready for that.
Oh, the timing on this.
And nicely done once again. Brilliant read there from Daven. And obviously losing two players instantly. Really gonna sting on the Babos Gaming side. That would have been the chance to close it out nice and early. As it stands, they will need to play at least 2 more rounds here. After all, I don't really see them win with only 2 Deagles here. Not against mYinsanity, at least. Look at Babos, he's gonna be scouting ahead with that Mag 10. Wherever he can. Anton takes quite a chunk out of Mush. But fair play, finds Yuli in doing so.
Babos, he's still on the journey. Might be greeted by 2 other players here soon. Has his body as well though. In whose favor this plays out so far, certainly in the favor of Babos. More chunk damage there on mYinsanity side done.
Big little position by Simo.
Oh,
Not gonna work out too well though.
works out just well for no rules though.
Showing us some crispy USP aim right there. And Breaker making it work against Mush into a 3v3 go. Fortunately for mYinsanity, Babos Gaming not able to collect any rifles anywhere. So they are still sitting on pistols. And we have seen them take P semi-solid time and time again.
Yeah,
At
for
least
now though,
no
it's
Steamu and Yuli here
yeah, just
hold them off.
Breaker. He will have to get some. Oh, Safi got Anchan though, but that favor has been returned. But still, 2v2 situation here, and that's only 10 seconds on the clock. Don't forget about that. Daven, he will have to
Dude,
plant or get the
what
kills
a
here.
sick shot onto HTM. Time's out, time's out. Safi, he needs to swing, yeah. And does. Sure, they do get the bomb down still, but it's not gonna matter in the end. With only pistols, they actually bring it around once again, and Babos Gaming finishing the first map in style. 16-9 over mYinsanity. Would you look at that?
That's interesting. That took a wild ride fast. Let's call it like that. Like it started
Yep.
off back and forth, but at some point, Bubbles, I don't know, they just found the magic formula. Let's call it like that, and they knew just how to play it. And sure, we
It's
still had good rounds from mYinsanity, of course. I mean,
absolutely no doubt about it.
Anton and Davin, they were on fire. Especially Anton, like that guy got some crisp frags here, but. Yeah, I'd say this map surely the strats from Bubbles they worked out, and what I like most is like they were so good at balancing. Okay, this round we're gonna play a bit more cautiously. We're just gonna check. We're just gonna wait from some utility to come out from their side, or then complete opposite of that. You know what, Tech9, let's go, let's rush B or rush A as it was in that case, and it also worked out then. So I like that diversity. I think
Yep.
Bubbles they had more diversity in that sense. Whilst yeah, mYinsanity they had maybe some more highlight reel frags, but didn't work
It's
out.
not often that you finish a map and you feel like, well, that could have been much clearer for Babos Gaming, for example. They could easily have finished that map with a 16 to, I don't know, 6, 7 scoreline. And at the same time, I feel like, well, could have been much closer too. So, bit of a weird one. Certainly, as you said, highlight plays on both sides. In the end, obviously, Babos Gaming just a little bit better worst on overpass for sure. And as you said, brilliantly balancing their executes and their approaches to rounds. It's a real joy to see and incredibly entertaining so far. Looking forward to the second map. It's going to be Inferno.
Yeah.
Obviously picked by mYinsanity, but I wouldn't be surprised if Babos Gaming not really too unhappy with that map pick either. So should be a good one for sure.
And teams are already joining the server, but before we're actually going to join the game, don't forget there is a gaming product of the month again. We didn't lose Brock yet, obviously not. We're happy that they're still here, and actually that's a product that I might pick up someday because my headset, it's falling apart. It's a Logitech G Pro wireless headset. So yeah, go check it out. There is also a link in the description below. It's on sale right now, and if you need a new headset, I think that's a good choice. I only heard good about it. Sadly, I didn't get to test it myself, but if this one ever falls apart more than it already does, surely one
Might be
of my
sooner than
pickups.
later. Who
Yeah.
knows?
But yeah, players warming up on Inferno, and Inferno for me as well. I mean, I obviously watch less CS:GO than you do, or also play less CS:GO than you do. But Inferno is one of the maps even I understand. Like, it's played so often, and you think you know everything about it, but I feel like teams still get creative. It somehow for me it feels like every game is about banana, but then again, every game is not about banana.
It's funny how you sort of perceive things differently, and I absolutely do see where you're coming from. Right, banana is such an incredibly crucial point. I myself, for example, do love to see how teams approach the T side, especially with sort of leaving and taking map control all over. So whether we do see teams, for example, mYinsanity, I guess would have been guilty to some degree in recent times, at least in some games that I've seen, to, for example, execute onto sites without actually having much presence anywhere else on the map. So that, for example, could give you quite a good opportunity to, for example, outflank your opponents quite quickly on the CT side if you're ballsy enough to actually go for aggressive plays, which not too many teams do regularly, because it is obviously coming with an inherent risk.
Yeah.
But it's going to be interesting. I could see Babos Gaming, for example, be a team that actually takes quite active control on in apartments, for example, on the CT side. While mYinsanity most likely on their CT side, for example, is going to play a fairly solid and standard 2-3 setup most of the time, I would assume. So it could be once again a very, very interesting clash of sort of different philosophies and takes on a map. Looking forward to finding out what those teams have in store for us today.
Do you see any world where one of the teams is just rushing it through mid at some point, maybe in a Tech 9 round or something like that?
I would be surprised if we don't see that.
Okay, okay.
You know, especially early on, an early peek into second mid, for example, from the right side of top of mid, with an op, while a teammate is holding you for a wide swing in bottom of middle, is a very, very common move, so to speak. And together with sort of well-placed aggression in apartments, peek into second mid as well, it is absolutely one of the very, very valid approaches to an early CT side, or an early CT round, I should say. So yeah, absolutely, especially as well, for example, in a pistol round can be incredibly difficult to deal with, actually. If the CTs just straight up go aggressive down middle and sort of take the fight to you, as well as obviously in pistol rounds, it can come in handy to sort of catch your opponent off guard.
Yeah.
And I would certainly hope to see gimmicky stuff like that, because that's what makes Inferno so interesting and entertaining at times. Because if you don't see it, if everything goes more or less like as default, it can get somewhat stale and very, very tedious to watch, because a lot of the time not much is actually taking place until the hit comes through. So yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, 9 players are on the server already, excuse me. And what I find interesting, and I feel like that kind of applies to every game, is what you just mentioned before, like, is when do you take risks? And like, especially if you just have a pistol round, like, I feel like there's always some kind of swing in how should you play around if you actually have less economy. Like,
Yeah.
there's like a swing or a phase where suddenly all teams are like, oh fuck, we gotta play this super aggressive, high risk, high reward. We have nothing to lose. And then there's like a phase where teams are like, you know what? No, we're not just gonna go aggressive. We're just gonna cuddle up all on one slot or on one point. And I feel like it's always fun to see that meta shift, whether it's in CS or in any game really. Um, it often happens, and
Yeah, definitely, absolutely, and a lot of it comes down to, wow, I just completely blanked on the word I'm looking for.
what is it in
Momentum.
German?
There we
Momentum.
go.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
that was oddly difficult to find. Yeah, obviously, however you approach a round in general, basically. Also, a lot of mid round calls, for example, come down to that. Are going to be dependent on how confident you feel at a certain given moment. All right, because if well, obviously, for example, if you feel on point, then it's much easier to say, well, I'm just going to go for the peak. I'm just going to go for the duel, the fight, whatnot. And I do have full confidence in me winning that fight. That is obviously one thing that makes teams also very unpredictable and
Yeah.
makes it doubly hard to actually play against them when everything seems to go their way.
And I feel like now is kind of like the best moment to do this, right? It's the first game of the season. Like, what
Yep.
do you have to lose? Like,
Sure.
even if you go freaking 0-16, okay, whatever, it's the first game of the season, but if you can come out like with a full boom and you kind of mark your territory, teams are gonna, especially if it's on stream, teams are gonna be like, oh, okay, they're confident. Maybe we underestimated them, for example, and then suddenly, yeah, little mind games going on, and
Sure.
it's interesting to see how that plays out. Obviously, finally, 10 players are on the server, just waiting for the last ones of them to ready up. So what's your prediction for this map here? What do you think? Is it going in
Ooh.
mYinsanity's favor? Are they gonna take home their map pick, or?
Before seeing the last map, I probably would have said I see mYinsanity come out on top here. Babos Gaming, they look really, really tight though on Overpass. And if they can keep on trading like that, mYinsanity might be in for a bit of a rough ride. But you know what? I'm gonna stick to my guts. I feel like mYinsanity can go 1-1 here.
Okay.
And they will sit up, they will pull themselves together and give Babos Gaming a run for their money. So I do believe mYinsanity, they can come away with a win here on Inferno, yeah.
I think they are on Terrace side at the start, right? If I
Yep,
recall it correctly. So
that's right.
that's actually new in that season for those of you that don't know. Whatever map the opponent picks, you get to pick the starting sides, and
Hmm.
it seems like CT is the preferred side. Why is that, Karos?
Um,
Is it just the
it
safer
is
thing to
most.
go and like a mental thing?
It can be. It certainly can be. You know, it's the side where you can play obviously more defensively. You can sort of position yourself in a way that you feel like you're well set up to deal with, and obviously you do have set defenses and sort of even when it comes down to an approach to a map, the CT side is basically the first thing that you sort of get sorted out, right?
Yeah.
And therefore, especially on Inferno, a lot of teams feel more secure on the CT side, while on the T side, you're under constant pressure to kind of find an opening here or there, or sort of you need to come up with fairly creative approaches to a round, which can be quite difficult if the CTs know what they're doing. And
Oh,
obviously, both of these teams fit the bill for that. As we go into the pistol round, and straight up through middle it is for mYinsanity. Anton finding a nice frag there onto Yuli. Second player on the A side falls. Leaves only breaker to be found, and indeed Mush will do so. And just like that, we do see mYinsanity very, very clean first pistol round here. So far, no rules. Takes HTM with him. But still pretty much an undoable situation to actually get any further onto the side without immense trading potential here for the terrorists. Obviously no rules, jumps around the corner. Will at least try to run away. Probably not going to be allowed to do so. Picks up Mush.
what?
Sick frag onto David and Buckers as well. No rules. It's the overdrive button for a second there. Finally, Anton puts him into his place, but that's a nice little succession of frags there for. Was that Anton?
There was no rules
No.
got the 4.
Oh, sorry, my
Yeah,
bad.
no rules got 4.
I'm
I mean,
looking at
Anton
it.
got 2 kills
Wrong
as
side.
well,
Yeah, no rules. Yeah.
but
No, but no
nearly got
rules.
them all.
Spinning around and clicking away heads.
So we are back to 2 rifles for mYinsanity with the Mag9s and the Eagles coming out here.
As if the Eagles aren't dangerous as they are. Inferno especially is a map with so many fixed angles that they can certainly be a bit of an issue. As shown by Simu right then and there, Daven deleted from the round early on already. And this is one of those tricky situations, right? Especially being man down now. You're up against the Eagles, so you're not entirely sure what they're up to. We know, of course, they do have an A stack in place with a little bit of a pit stack together with a nice little crossfire by No Rules. But mYinsanity, they do have apparently a good idea. What could lie in store for them? Onto the B side we go, only to defend it right here. HTM. Awkward. It's a long fight against Breaker. In the
Oh,
end,
the reload.
Buckers to find both those players. And just like that, round's pretty much over. People still are going to be looking for some exit frags. Norrell's caught out in the open. Will go down without connecting with his pistol. And Yuli as well as Southie apparently electing to hit some 1-deeks in round number 3 as they give up on the second one. Understandably so. Yeah, mYinsanity, obviously CT picked by Babos Gaming. Can't fault them for that, but it comes with the risk that if mYinsanity obviously racks up the numbers on their terrorist side, they will have a somewhat easy approach to close out the map later on. So Babos Gaming certainly looking to not let mYinsanity build up too much of a lead here.
Yeah. So far, still only pistols, and we're back to the 2 rifles on mYinsanity, or well, not back to, still on them. And that's kind of the same thing like before. Don't have to really invest more money if your opponent can't either. Oh, Yuli
nice
though.
shot onto Anton. Once again, early man advantage for the CT side. Maybe it works out better this time. They have changed positions around slightly. 3 players currently sitting over towards B. While Breaker and Yuli are tasked with holding down the fort on A. And indeed, mYinsanity, they do elect the same approach as before. Let's see if... Oh, they don't have a flash. That's unfortunate. Swing around, try with a flash. That could have been a brilliant play. Unfortunately, none was at hand. Cheeky little frag from top of boost by Southie. Remains on top though and is easily traded. 2v2 though, Yuli and Breaker. Especially Yuli with that deagle. If he can connect another crisp shot here in due time, there might still be a chance to go for this.
Jumping out of this. What? Just jumped out of it and got the first one. Now he has the info on where the second one is. Let's see if he can get it, but no, Buckers cleanly with the rifle, and mYinsanity takes the third round. But those were 2 nasty shots from Yuli in this round. First one on Anton, and then the last one here, jumping out of the smoke.
The last certainly was a bit of a nasty one. As we go into our first buy round. AWP on both teams. One wielded by Anton, no surprise there. No rules with the other one. For the CTs. Control over Banana. So far not too heavily contested on the T side. CTs are allowed to take positions, and Yuli with the deep smoke. Might be swinging with... Well, never mind, not with a flash. Oh, and HDM just about spots shoulder of Breaker. Simu under a lot of pressure here. They know he's close by, and there is a gap in the smoke. Actually goes back for the frag, finds Daven. Upgrades his M4, and that's mYinsanity on the back foot. They are moving away from B. And a rotation should be coming in momentarily. There we go, Yuli is getting on his way. As they are making their way towards A. Southie, brilliant position. Good for 2 Buckers though with the trades. 2v2 now, and Yuli once again through the smoke.
What a mad lad.
Finds him and secures a 2v1. Anton, AWP, that's not necessarily the most advantageous rifle that you could have, and he's getting spotted out in the open over the top of the smoke.
He had no clue where they're coming from, and maybe not the best position to be in if you're quite in the open. But
Well, certainly not. Then again,
he didn't really have time to get a position.
you
yeah.
wouldn't necessarily expect that boost every single time. So
Yeah.
tough
Fair.
luck. Well played by Babos Gaming for sure as well. So they do secure themselves the first round on the back of pretty nice shots there, especially by Yuli and Southie on short. And mYinsanity back into the fray they go, but certainly less well equipped. 2 Mac-10s are being fielded by the terrorists. And once again, the CTs, they are trying to hold them back in Banana, and a ton of damage done with nade hit onto David and HTM, I believe.
They're not holding back with the utility so far on this map, like...
Definitely not. That smoke might be a little bit short though. As mYinsanity are setting up for an execute onto B, and Simu needs to hurry to come around and support his teammate here. Just in time makes it around, finds 2 actually. On the wildest of sprays, HTM and Baku's lost 2 players standing for the T's, and HTM on measly 9 HP. That's going to be a bit of a tricky situation here for the remaining terrorists. As the CTs are starting to move in.
Yeah, now 1-for-1 trade, 18 HP left in box, and they know this position. They know where he is. That should be an easy one for them. The fuse coming in, and 2 rounds in a row here for Babos. So they kinda caught their footing here. Obviously, all thanks to some rifles. Now I wonder what mYinsanity is gonna do in return. Obviously, this round for them, not gonna be a big money round. They're
A couple of upgraded pistols, and I
Yeah.
like to see that. You know, you're not in any hurry. You've already got 3 rounds secured on your T side, so you might as well play an eco just to make sure you got whatever you need for the next one. Certainly glad to see that, and keep in mind they do still have a couple of flashes and smoke, so enough for a fast execute.
I think they're just going through mid here, right? At
Certainly
least
looks that way.
they're lurking around it.
Top flash, top mid, might catch a Southie. Should be able to hide in cubby though. Second smoke goes out, and oh, he's sitting behind the smoke even. Are they going to push that?
He's
Ooh,
still
top
safe and
flash
sound for
gonna
now.
come in from Simu. If they hit the timing right, Southie might be in for a double kill here. Unfortunately, not gonna be allowed. But they should know quite a lot of terrorists are lurking around top mid. First one is being found, and so far these have made their way through apartments, but it is going to be tricky to make it out of there, especially without supportive flashes. Sabi takes care of the bomb, but there we go, out of apartment, and Yuli makes quick process from them. So last man standing in apartments is Anton. And there we go. Will fall in the end as well, no surprise there. And Babos Gaming managed to equalize 3-3.
Would you call that good patience from mYinsanity there, as to not just push out a mid even further, or would you call that like lack of confidence, or like, you know, not really pulling through a plan?
Tough to say. I think it's mostly down to nicely placed utility by Babos Gaming to kind of stagger them and hold them back for a while. That plays it very smart here once again. Sticks close by, finds Steven pretty much for free. And look at that, no rules finally. An aggressive move through apartments. Is going to be ready with the AWP. Finds Mush on the no-scope. Second one found onto Anton as well. And that's a buy round for mYinsanity. Completely in shambles. Left, right, and center. They lose players to Babos Gaming's aggression. Or rather their own, actually.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
double
Babos Gaming
AWP works
so
out like a charm this round. Plus, obviously, the opening frag there from Safi, you talked about it. Really smart positioning. And now, Bakus, what are you gonna do? Well, you're at least gonna take one with you. Is he aware that there's someone behind him? Let's see. Simu in the corner.
Certainly should be. Question is, will Babos Gaming leave him alive? Certainly not gonna do so.
At
One
least
more
he's
trade.
taking Yulium, yeah.
Yep. But still, it's not gonna be enough. And mYinsanity. Yeah, once again, pistols only, 2 flashes. And the double AWP setup for Babos Gaming is looking strong. Cheeky nades down mid, HTM takes a bunch of damage from a nade as well as a Molotov, I believe. Breaker, big whiff there. Should have converted that one for sure. Southie is there to support him though, so he can't get rushed down immediately. And Southie might be gifted another frag or two should they actually elect to come out middle. Far back on B side, no rules really without much work as of right now. Southie finally spots another player close by. Wow, Anton, hello there.
He's been a mad lad on that deagle today. I mean, not only on the deagle, but got so many deagle frags here. Let's see, cautious play still. Finally, the bomb is moving to the B side, where No Rules is waiting with an AWP. Doesn't get the shot though, and now he's surrounded by a full team of mYinsanity.
Can he connect with that deagle spray?
Well, he can. At the same time, Simu going in, taking the side for himself. Good bait there with the bomb, but they
what
just
a round. Yeah, that was so clean.
So, how many rounds should mYinsanity get here on T side compared to, you know, the map before, where he said it was a rather defender favorite? How are we holding up here?
Funnily enough, I would say mYinsanity is probably not too sad that they started on the T side, simply because it feels like it might even be their better side. So, considering it is their map pick, I would say they want to be looking at 6 or 7 rounds after the first half. Breaker. It's up to HTM instantly though. Passive angle being held by, but no chance to make it against an AWP there. No rules. Brilliant position once again. Finds Daven. And mYinsanity is so far split, they can't actually pounce right away. So they need to continue to move up slowly. And once again, 3 apartments we go, apparently. And that's the bomb even. The bomb goes down in apartments, that's pretty much round over, I feel like. And Babos Gaming is reading this well. 4 players already around A. Plenty of utility, especially flashes left, so those can come in handy as soon as the trades are coming through. Good find by Mush. Now that's massive. That actually opens up possibility of a B split. Question is, will they have to read that still 3 players from Babos Gaming are on A? Apparently they don't. They keep on it. Yuli lucky to stay alive behind default box. Gets attacked by the AWP, but the bomb finally makes its way through short, and there we go. Knife attempt by Southie. Got to give him credit for that. And yeah, Babos Gaming, they hold strong.
Yeah, but you were right. Maybe mYinsanity should have thought twice, like how important the player was that they had just taken out. But obviously, for us, it's always easier to say because we see the map, we see where the players are.
Of course, absolutely. And keep in mind,
yeah,
such a quick change of heart to actually call a B split in that moment is pained by so many variables. For example, they have no idea whether someone pushed down banana. So as soon as they turn around, they might be actually faced by someone almost in T-spawn. There could be still 2 rotating from B over towards A. As we see Babos Gaming once again dismantling the whole of the mYinsanity team. Only Bacchus and Anton left. Bomb gonna be picked up by Anton. Not even a minute has passed and we are in a 4v2. And look at that. I like the fact that Babos Gaming actually is aiming to play a 1-3 again. Sending 3 players over to its A. On the B side, no rules with the AWP. He has been a wall so far. Last time around, I think he managed to pick up 3 frags. So I'd be hard pressed to think that both terrorists would make it onto the site.
Well, let's find out. No rules. Getting smoked out though, so has to reposition a little. And Anton
good find.
opens up the side for them, and they can't believe it themselves. The side is it is clear, my friends. You can actually plant, but you have to hurry up because there's 3 people running after you.
Yeah, no rules. I don't know. Okay, Southie
That's the first.
comes in, reveals Bacchus' position as well. He's wide in the open, facing 2. And there we go. Clean retake by Babos Gaming. No rules, I think he did want maybe a little bit too much. He did reposition through the smoke, I think, onto side, trying to play no angle Anton, obviously with the clear. On the AWP himself was probably the perfect match for the T, so yeah, good entry onto the side. Unfortunately, couldn't really bring it home. And Babos Gaming once again looking really, really strong here on their CT side.
Yeah, and why change it if it works? They're still running 2 AWPs. At the same time, mYinsanity, they are looking for mid here, and they're looking for mid aggressive. Bacchus already chunked down to 28 HP, but some of them are through, but no rules, he's just there, like, he's the guardian.
Yeah. And that, such a demanding presence from that AWP, of course, lets you completely tunnel focus on that single guy, so makes it so much easier for other players to swoop in and kind of take them by surprise and outflank them. While there's so much pressured by that AWP defense.
Do you like what mYinsanity is doing right now? With
I
their buy?
absolutely love it. It's brilliant. They once again they do change it up nicely. There we go. No rules finally with the quick peek into second mid. That works as well. Okay, Mush. Showing us how dangerous the Tech 9 is once again. And still obviously 3v2. Advantage still lies on the CT side, but this time around Bacchus and Mush both with rifles in hand. I'm sure Bacchus is low, but this is certainly still somewhat doable. But it would require clean entries here.
And no rules.
The A side.
No rules already has such a good position again. But I like how patient mYinsanity is playing, right? I mean, holding an angle for 1 minute makes you feel like a fool. But no rules, he's sticking to it, now knows that there are people around because of the flash. Holds the angle again. Same time, has to worry. Just a warning shot to side. Ooh, Bacchus playing with fire. Pushing him out, and now... Ooh,
How good is
look at
Norus
Mush.
with the flick?
Look at Mush. The
Yeah.
repositioning there. Gets the shot onto no rules. That was
That's
so
massive.
smart. That's
That is big.
incredible.
That is big.
Now will they spot Simu? Actually, oh, they checked for the corner, but oh, not fully. I feel with him.
That's a rough one.
I really like that play. Like
Yeah, it's
low
a shame.
rotation.
It could have been so easy to just clear the complete site. It was basically only that single angle left. So
Yeah.
the fact that one terrorist actually directly went for the plant is a bit unfortunate, but yeah, there we go. That is going to be Babos Gaming closing in on double digits yet again. While mYinsanity cannot get a single buy round in the green breaker. Finding
Okay.
David not only through the smoke but the wall as well. Anton gets taken down to 5 as well, so Southie. He can taste blood in the water. You know, someone's pretty low somewhere. Oh, is that actually?
Was that intended? I don't think so, right?
I could
Should've-
imagine that it was, but HDM certainly read it pretty well. Gets on the angle first. And at least brings it back into a 4v4, and keep in mind, as low as Anton is on the T side, No Rules doesn't have much more HP. Actually has still less HP than him.
Oh, poor Anton got a run. Just barely escapes.
Yeah, those pesky little flames, they're dangerous when you're that low. Cute slide out by HTM, actually finds Yuli instantly. And a second frag onto No Rules, and this is going to be the A side open and ready for the taking. And with only 2 players alive, Babos Gaming, they do have tons of money, so they might still check out whether something's possible.
And now Breaker still with the AWP.
But it would be-
Simo is kind of like, he has to check for him, right? He has to scout out positions, and Breaker hopefully somehow
Oh yeah.
gets a kill, but it's actually Simu, so now Breaker swinging around, but barely misses the shot. Mush doesn't in return though, and there it is, 4th round for mYinsanity. On the back of HTM, like, to be frank.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Brilliant move there by him. So let's see whether mYinsanity takes that as an opportunity to catch themselves a little bit. Bit of aggression towards Banana. Well measured. David.
Yeah.
A bit of a peek.
No more AWPs left for
that
the side of
nade, though.
Babos. Yeah, that nade though hurt
Not
quite a
spotting
bit.
anyone, but losing half your life. That's not what you want to do. Babos Gaming's defense, once again, pretty much on point over on B. mYinsanity still quite liking their approach through apartments there. Even if it is only under some pressure, Buckus nicely cleans Yuli out of that corner. And that certainly gives them a little more room to work with. HDM finding Breaker. And this might cause trouble here. Southie feels the pressure to go for an information play right into the hands of Mush. No Rules. At least finds him, so there's still a chance. Terrorists are closing in though, and that's No Rules gone. 2. Simu last man standing. In theory, could still. Oh,
The bomb is
bomb
still
just about
rotating.
made it past
Yeah,
him.
but still, the plant has to happen nonetheless. So Simu,
Yeah, but
Oh,
it's so
yep.
tricky to deal with at that moment in the round. You wouldn't necessarily expect him already to hold so defensively.
well, up to 5 rounds now for mYinsanity, and we're on the last round of the half. So maybe they can go up to 6.
Absolutely, it's very much possible. Keep in mind, Southie is only sitting on a deagle, so
Therefore, No Rules is back on his AWP. So,
Yep.
and he's been working charms so far on this one. So, gotta be careful. This time around, it seems like mYinsanity's taken a bit of more aggressive approach, already conquering Banana.
Oh wow, what a shot by Anton.
Yeah, that
Yuli
was.
keeps getting deleted there, that's annoying as hell. Breaker, cheeky little position on top of that balcony. Probably the best round to just a move like that. Hasn't played it so far, I don't think, on the C2 side. And it works like a charm. Southie now might hit to Molly. Tick the second player as well, so he knows he's coming. Tries to pre-fire. Not going to connect, but the Deagle will do the job in the end. It will be indeed Babos Gaming making it to 10 already after the first half.
Yeah, and Davin, man, Davin is having a rough game. Last game, I think he went out with what, 23, 24 frags. So far, in those 15 rounds, he made 2 frags. So, yeah, maybe that's why he calls the pause right now, maybe, who knows. Just to cool down a little bit more in halftime. Tactical called already. 10 and 5, well, what do you expect here? Like, do you think Babos is gonna try to keep running the wave of momentum and go aggressive in the pistol round, or are they more gonna show us the more well thought through play that they have showed us on the first map?
Well, keep in mind, their CT pistol was actually full out aggression through middle on the CT side of Overpass, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so I wouldn't put it past them to make an aggressive play, for example, into second mid and down middle. But then again, you know, mYinsanity, they need almost to be expecting something like that. So I don't know, maybe just taking it slow and methodical would be the better approach here, especially 10 to 5, you know. Keep the numbers game, try to play it a little bit safer in the pistol round. If you win it, then hey, brilliant. You're gonna be up 12 to 5, 13 to 5.
And let's see. Pistol round off the second half starting here.
And it doesn't look too gimmicky here. Sure, 3 players to its B early on. Peek into Bananas. Supported by a flash. That's already a lot of information gained. Mush actually. Oh, wow. Okay. They do hit the brakes, so they're not actually moving down Banana just. They actually do now. Never mind. They actually absolutely go for that. And Babos Gaming, they're hard pressed to enter that a bomb site.
Yeah, and my spectator just died on that smoke. That's kind of unfortunate.
That's very unfortunate indeed. Yuli opens it up on A, onto Bacchus. Davin hasn't made it back onto side. Posano lurk smoke, that gives him some room to maneuver. Breaker, good find. But Brax left, right, and center. Davin actually finds Yuli as well as Salfi there. Last man standing though, up against 3. That's just a matter of time, and Breaker actually sneaks around with the knife and gets him during the reload. And that just adds insult to injury. I did like mYinsanity's approach though, with the very, very early banana push. Unfortunately, Breaker was ready for the flank through apartments and took care of that.
Yeah, now mYinsanity, they're buying some stuff here. They want to go with it. Anton, even with the little one.
Yeah, I feel like mYinsanity is feeling the pressure. They need to find back fast into this game, otherwise Babos Gaming are gonna be playing way too comfortable here.
Bump picked up, so now decision is coming in. We know that kind of play from Babos, and it seems like the decision is to collapse on B fully with 5 people. So there we go. All the utilities coming in. Good NATO from mYinsanity. Big old chunk out of health of 3 players. Safi has been taken out. Is that enough though? 4v3 situation here. Mush, important pick there. Now it's all about the retake, but Mush, he's on 2 HP and they're up against the rifle.
Love the position by Breaker. Love to play that myself. And look at that, mYinsanity, they're running. They have invested too much in this round to just throw it away willy-nilly. Shotgun scout, the eagle.
Is it a good sign
armor.
if you're playing stat track and you have 2 kills with a weapon?
Depends on what weapon that is.
Well,
Is it the Nova?
Yeah, it's the Nova. Like,
yeah, I can't blame him. You know, there's so very, very few chances where you can actually effectively play that gun. And I did actually have an eye out for it early round. He did go into apartment. And in my head, that's actually one of the only positions where you can actually do something on any of the maps. The Nova's a weird shotgun anyway. Even if you play shotgun, the Nova's probably your last choice. The only acceptable redeeming quality that it has is the fact that it costs only $1,000 or something like that. So, but even then, fire rate's so low. Actually, not even funny. Even okay. Showing us a little flash of brilliance and. Completely blinded, they go into B and nobody's checking behind sandbags. That can be detrimental. HJam actually gets Simu as well as Yuli. No rules, last man standing
he's
moves
gonna push
into
through the
CT.
smoke.
Aggression is a form of defense. Finds Mush, puts him down to 9. Will dance around the corner though. Mush will connect onto No Rules. Take him down, and that's going to be one for mYinsanity.
Some breathing room for them, and immediately we see them buy the double AWP again. Which worked like a charm for Babos, so the question is, will it also work like a charm for them? And, well, we're left to see it.
For sure. Interesting armament on the terrorists. 3 Deagles, accompanied by an AK and an SG.
Oh,
Mush, clean. Takes down 2 of them instantly.
this time they're checking the sandbags with their molly, but 3 people left, and it seems like for now they're opting to push onto B side again. There's 2 players waiting for them though, and one of them is Daven on the AWP.
And he
Smoked
is
out.
indeed very dangerous with that. Puts down smoke himself. Good fight by Breaker, that's actually quite big. Still 2 players around, make that 3. Rotation is on the way. HDM makes his way onto sides. Great find by Breaker once again. And unfortunate.
He's the man of those apartments, dude.
Goodness.
He owns those. Like, they are all owing him rent, and they didn't pay, so they have to pay with their lives.
Apparently. And he's gonna get the 3rd as well. There we go. No Rules. Right into his crosshair.
Well, good round by them. That somewhat semi-buy by Babos didn't quite work out, so they are gonna have to, well, make it work with the pistols. I wonder if they are just gonna run it down mid. And it actually seems like they are running mid.
Almost does look like it. How in the world is Southie still alive? Second. Orb shot connects. Rings true. Takes down Breaker. And Southie just hit David in the face, I believe, through that smoke. So he's got his angles down. Anton. Easy frag onto Simo. And yeah, the pistols are just not going to do it. HM drops the bomb. That's round over.
Well, maybe Southie can get 1 rifle off of 970's
I'm
hand.
pretty confident he actually heard him get the thing. Nice little attempt of a bait shot there. Or shot bait, I should say. Jumping around the corner like that. David not going to be caught up by it though. Plucks him out of the air. And that's going to be mYinsanity on 8. And Babos Gaming, utility-wise, not as strong as they might like.
Oh, certainly
HM.
going aggressive again on banana though. So far, that's kind of been the game for Babos here on the attacking side. Daven.
David stays close by.
Oh,
Finds another one.
Such a smart play.
You just can't give up frags like that. Babos Gaming, you know better than that. David's not gonna back up. They'll keep on fighting, and still onto the B side they go. David about to rotate back onto sides. While we do have who'd that be? Buckers boosted up towards CT. Smoke goes down. Will David move through that? Certainly. Rattles off a shot.
Gets 1, doesn't get the second one though. But I'll guess who does. Daven. Simu quick on the return kill though. Ooh. Well, his position is known now. Goes for the aggressive move, tries to take out Anthem, but
Ready with the pistol. Once again, really cool plays there by Daven, and together with Buckers. Daven shooting through the smoke, kind of drawing attention to his position. Nets Bacchus a free kill. Sure, he gets traded, but in the meantime, Damon already up on top of coffins, ready for the second kill. Just like that, secures them the round. And once again, Babos Gaming with pistols only. Try to move through mid. Mush is ready. No getting through there. Bacchus taking care of Simu. And yeah, that's a tactical pause for sure.
He called even before the round is over. Breaker just sitting here mid with a steal. Maybe he can salvage something, get at least a kill, but he's gonna run into 3 people here, or well, at least 2. So they are hunting for him.
Yep. And quite successful is mYinsanity making it to double digits, and gotta hand it to them, closing the gap steadily to Babos Gaming.
Yeah, and whilst
Only 2
David
rounds now.
only got 2 kills in the first half, right? So he already has 9 kills now in what, 7 rounds?
Wait, how many kills did he get?
In the
Only
first half,
2?
he only had 2 kills in the first half, if I recall correctly.
That is atrocious. And yeah,
So-
that's obviously not doing him justice.
No, especially not after the first map where he and Anton had like 20 plus. So yeah, that he's catching himself, doing pretty good on the AWP, and I think it's time for Babos to change it up, and maybe that tactical means they are gonna change it up. The B pushes, they didn't work out so far. mYinsanity always had an answer, even if Babos kinda changed it up, right?
I still feel that Babos Gaming, they need to be more careful about giving up frags without any trade potential. I feel like so many rounds we've seen them sort of start on the back foot by losing a player. And there we go.
Just
again,
like that.
Anton. Yuli peeks around the corner, no flashes being thrown. They had them, they just didn't use them.
There's
And-
another one.
Jesus.
Oh.
Okay. Oh,
Um,
goodness, make that 4. Safi last man standing. Cannot comprehend how in the world he just lost his whole team. At least punishes Anton. He obviously went for the ace.
Who wouldn't go for the ace there, right?
Yeah,
But clean round.
Oh,
Anton
everyone.
grabs it in the backpack there. And just like that, mYinsanity only trailing by 1 round. And I think that's not gonna be a full buy round for Babos. They are going for the Tech 9s.
When it comes to close the scoreline like this, you can't just throw around full spies all the time. So fast push onto the B side. It'll be HTM though. Connects with the nade onto Yuli. And they do get close, but Daven's still there. HTM, just about in time. Catches his aim. Takes care of the first 2. No rules. Still dangerous.
No rules? Ooh, that was
That's a little bit too slow for the peak of the third one.
a flash coming out.
And he's still sitting in the same corner, so... Bacchus putting down that smoke.
Oh, that would have been incredible. Just whiffs the shot, but still 3
Still.
kills there. Coming out.
Yeah,
Game
but
side.
they need that early in the round, you know.
Yeah, obviously.
Those flashy plays are nice and well, but let's face it, it's in situations where mYinsanity just throws caution to the wall, just rushes in. They need to focus early rounds much more.
And,
And
again,
Anton,
it's
yet
always
again,
Anton.
It's, yeah. At least there's a quick trade this time around.
Yeah.
But there's still 1 in apartments. And they need to be really careful about that. Yuli is ready. Takes down Mush, and Daven on the other side of the map. Boosted up. Spots breaker over the top of the smoke, and obviously has it lined up perfectly.
They have a
3v3,
time
and
window.
as of right now, it is still a 3v1 on a side. Bacchus though slides around. Nicely done, hits the timing, finds the
Wow.
second one. And okay, that's awkward. Could have had the third one, but HGM comes in, saves his bacon. Well, it doesn't save his bacon, but sort of his honor at least. And mYinsanity take the lead.
I
Would
just
you look
wanted
at
to
that?
say they have a time window of pushing it 3v1, but well, doesn't matter, I guess. mYinsanity, one
Yeah,
round
Babos
up
played
even.
that really nicely around the default plant box there. Even an obviously no surprise once again. On their AWPs, Breaker takes a chunk of damage from nades. And so far, Babos Gaming still haven't found a solid way to opening those rounds against mYinsanity. mYinsanity, that, I have to admit, plays it very nicely. Most of the time fairly passively, but they do make a good use of utility. As I say that, Daven is being caught out in the open by Breaker. And that prompts a rotation from Anton over towards the B side. And I wouldn't be...
Oh, what a nice
what a
frag there
fight by
by Simu.
Simu. Wild spray through the smoke. And Safi about to take care of the pit player in Bacchus, and that's going to be another round for Babos Gaming in the book. mYinsanity's player is way too far away, and especially Anton on 36 HP with the AWP, he's going to keep that rifle. Simu takes care of HDM, and that's round over.
Yeah, but that was again one of the more cost rounds played here by Babos that we've seen on the first map, right? They did that over and over again, didn't even bother about the time. Just checking out where are the players, get out some utility. You know what, Hack maybe even sprayed with smoke, and it worked out this time. Got a kill, tying up the game, and with only 4 more rounds to go, at least in the regular game here, that's surely an important round, and especially even more so they can keep
For
all the
sure.
rivals, right?
Absolutely, no doubt about it. mYinsanity still far away from an eco. Obviously, looking at their economy, still going strong. Should be still good for. Actually, wait, give me a second. 2-9. Another buy round would be pretty hard pressed, actually, should they lose this round. So, once again, pretty
Anton,
significant rounds.
he just
Anton
does it
from
again.
the right side, yeah, finds no rules. And had he connected onto Breaker, I would have lost my shit.
Well, he connects onto Yuli though, so maybe if he connected on that one, that would have been the real deal.
Yeah, Steven finally stops him, puts an end to his shenanigans. But once again, Babos Gaming, man down. And who's this? Taven. Still AWP in hand.
I like the
Bit
position
an
of
off
Breaker
angle,
though.
actually.
I like that Breaker is not with his teammates here, for some reason.
That nade right on top of his head, but Taven should have the angle advantage here. But he moves back in the worst moment. Safi was ready for that, and with HCM going down, this is going to be an after-plan situation that Babos Gaming could very well bring home here. Retake flash for Bacchus himself, thrown by him. Molotov is not gonna find anyone. And Breaker, cheeky position, pushed up far. We'll take care of things, and let's face it, Mush, he would have to go absolutely mental here.
Sophie?
Breaker,
That a question
What's
mark
his
moment?
legs? But yeah, I mean, that's 14, and look at that. It rings true what I said before. They would be hard pressed to force buy here, so they don't, and they more or less let Babos Gaming reach map point here. Once again, who's... Oh, look at that. Push down banana already by Daven. He's looking for some action early on. Hiding close to wood. And Babos Gaming very wisely hitting hitting the brakes here for just a bit. Trying to find out what they're up against. Is it actually just pistols? Is it a full spy? How well equipped are the CETs? And they do have time. They have time and utility to play with. So not too hard pressed to do anything too rash.
Yeah, and all the utility on mYinsanity side is gone except for one flash, which is held by Box.
Yep.
So that's it. All you have left is the Deagles. 1 minute left to go now, and we see
Good
first
off,
contact.
Okay, at least 1v1 for one trade, not too bad.
Now they're pushing
Breaker
out of bananas,
ready
but
for the
Breaker. I think
Yeah,
that should
falling.
seal the deal here on this round at least.
Absolutely, it should. As soon as Bacchus is known, they will move towards B, no doubt about it. Team is still around to deal with him on the rotate, so yeah. Decently clean round. Losing a player or two, I think that's okay. Considering you're up against Eagles. And now mYinsanity, obviously. No room for errors. 15-13. Babos Gaming with 2 straight map points. mYinsanity needs to deny those to make it into overtime.
And
As
they
once
are pushing
again,
out of
Daven-
bananas again.
Yeah, Daven ventures deep down into banana. Before falling back. Boosting on top of a wall. That's going to be Daven actually, himself. And Simo opens up onto Anton this time. One of the rare occasion where Anton does not actually find the first frag. Question is, will Mush have more luck there with short? A retake top middle, I like that. Kind of keeping the terrorists honest. And they certainly do make them work for it. HDM, good find onto Simu. Once again, no trade potential on the Babos Gaming
Bacchus,
side.
such a good
Bacchus
position.
over the smoke. And is this where it all falls apart for Babos Gaming once again? 3v4, Mush still unknowns to SFS in his back, and Daven wins his fight from top of the wall. And yeah, that's gonna be it.
Still get them through the wall though.
Oh
So
wait, no rules.
can-
Is that your hero play?
might be. He's kinda low on time though, and that's a ballsy plant if you ask me. Flash coming out, the other guy already walking through the smoke. He barely gets into cover, gets the first one. What a shot! Oh my god, if he would have just taken that shot, that would have been crazy.
They're already through though.
Flash. Yeah, he's in the corner, so tough life for him. They're just gonna walk up. There we go, get the frag, and last round of regular time coming up here.
Yep. Babos Gaming, decently equipped to bring out a full buy. mYinsanity looking a bit rough. Yeah, not too shabby. Actually quite decent.
Now, question is, Anton, he's gotten so many opening frags in the second half. Back on that AWP, and look at that, how much stuff Babos is throwing at him, immediately forcing him back onto that B side.
Oh wow.
And now the question is, are they gonna pull the brake, or are they gonna keep on hammering down the gas pedal here?
I would assume they keep them guessing for a bit longer. Probably banking on a rotation over towards P at the moment, but as it stands, it is still 2 players defending. One of them though, Anton, with his AWP, is being forced back, so lone man on side is actually HTM, but he makes it very, very expensive indeed. Finds 3 before being taken down by Breaker. And 2v4, I feel like we are going into overtime. Anton finds Julie behind new boxes. And Breaker. Good for one, not for a second one though, Daven.
That would have been mad.
But
yeah, OT is coming.
And how well deserved by both teams, I have to admit.
Yeah,
Question is,
honestly,
do you care?
especially David, man. That guy, he made a frag pretty much every round. 13 frags in the second half compared to
Yep.
the 2 frags, right? So,
Yeah, it's like night and
also
day.
pretty good mental game, right? If you can catch yourself after making 2 frags in the first half of a
Sure.
map.
And mYinsanity now actually set up quite nicely here to take the lead once again. Babos Gaming, they have been struggling on the T side and haven't really found a fail-safe way to open up rounds here onto mYinsanity. This might work though, no rules. Expect Anton to slide in his angle again. And sure as hell he will. Need to buy a bullet from an AWP. And once again the two B players taking control over Banana pretty much uncontested. We still have no rules in the back lines waiting, but David snuck by. That's a free frag. You ever seen one? David even making it 2. Mush chimes in with 1 as well, and just like that, it still keeps falling apart for Babos Gaming. If it's not the entry, it's the timings. And both players coming through apps, I just don't see that work out too well. Especially as soon as Mush will have taken that angle again. They do hit the timing though.
Mush taken out. Well, they see the second guy, they do not in time, and now it's no rules. Whiffs his first shot, goes for the molly.
I can't get to trade.
Oh,
And
look, the bomb
has been dropped.
That's such an unfortunate place, but he somehow managed to get there. And now, how is he gonna play it? He's planting that in the molly. Smoke coming out. Pop flash. Gets one.
Oh no.
Jumps around. Oh, with his second shot. Off to the pistol and so close.
Oh, what am I watching?
Nearly made it
No
happen.
scope galore on the A side.
Well, first round of OT going into the hands of mYinsanity, even if Anton falls early. And yeah, like, it was closer than some of the rounds that Bubbles brought to the table and attack so far. So maybe that's a good sign for them. Is mYinsanity just pushing out mid, right? They are. Mush with the AWP here. Oh, early. Not getting Breaker.
Oh
Breaker
no,
on 2
Yuli.
HP.
Finding David, that's massive. But the bomb has been dropped in T-spawn. The CTs didn't realize though. They all rotated away from A.
Now, question is
that's
Babos
awkward.
making that read?
That is slightly awkward. They do execute though, and that's the right call.
Yeah, rotation
HDM
already came back again, so...
Has been halfway out of the site. That's a head scratcher for mYinsanity. They read that completely wrong. And
trying to go through it flash here.
Does jump through, gets a kill onto Breaker, but South, you're ready for the trade.
Oh.
Swings around, takes down another one. Baku's last man standing, 2v1. Yuli just about in the nick of time. Swings around to save Simu. Babos Gaming hanging on so far. 1 round on their T side in overtime.
That could have gone
far,
so
not
differently
looking
though
too
if Breaker didn't live with 2
massively,
HP
yeah.
there, right? 2 HP in the middle. That's a tough one.
And 2 SMGs and a Deagle for the CT. Push down Banana, not gonna work out for HTM. Still 2 players close by. First one found. Second one makes a run for it. Bomb still in T-spawn. As the remaining 3 CTs are wondering what the best move might be here. No information gained so far by peeking down second mid. That prompts a rotation from Daven, but all he can bring to the table is the Deagle, so it will be all up to Anton with his AWP. Almost a double. Position given up though, and now he's playing for time. Finds the second one. That's Yuli gone down. Daven even finding Simu with that Deagle. I spoke too soon, and just like that, no rules. No chance. Is that too harsh? That might be too harsh.
He's back to back with Anton
He's
there.
literally Oh my goodness, he's actually literally hiding right next to the CT. And they think he's not here.
Oh, Anton, let's see.
This
He's
is
still
awkward.
scoped in. And he's got him. Smoke's down, the two other guys are coming back in. No rules, 49 HP, not the best thing to work with, but he's just gonna smoke the thing up here.
That move actually made it doable. There's
oh,
a gap. If he
Okay.
finds the gap on the CT, there he is. Baku's down. 1v1.
Oh, so close. That was actually... That was
Bloody
200
hell.
IQ. That was 200 freaking IQ.
Such a nice try. Unfortunately, not gonna work out, not being rewarded. But how close can you get? 1v3?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's... Whew. We
I
are
feel like...
treated to some really, really fun Counter-Strike tonight.
Yeah, but I gotta feel like Babos can be happy with the one round they got on T. I mean,
Yeah,
they got one round, and the other
it's
two
not-
rounds
it's not too bad.
were not too shabby, you know, compared to the rest of their T rounds. So, yeah, they've shown decent CT play. So, I feel like they can easily bring this back.
it is certainly in the realms of possibilities, no doubt about it. Question is, what kind of an approach will mYinsanity play now on their T side? I really wonder, because you can bank on Daven being on point now. He certainly had well enough time to warm up, so he's not gonna be sort of a non-factor again.
Yeah, he's catching up in frags actually, like 19 frags by now.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He's closing in on HDM and on Mersh.
Well, we're about to find out. 2 more seconds until we're getting into first round of OT number 1. Second half, so to speak. And one AWP coming out for either side. And did HDM ever play the AWP for myi today?
I don't think so far, no. It's a bit of a new approach to deal with here. For Babos Gaming, no rules makes it work in apartments. Simu holds down against that AWP. Lindo ready with the trade. Picks it up, switches to the big green gun. Well, rather red and yellow in his case, but you get my drift.
Now, the two myi players trying to hunt here.
That's so massive.
He's still holding that angle.
Oh yeah, he knows.
Yeah, obviously.
They have Safi there to right, so.
And they're covered from the back since Mush is coming, so.
Ooh, look at that. Safi starts to realize there is a possibility. He spots the barrel, gets ready just in time. Now is the time where David needs to make his move. He might be a little bit too late though. In a 1v3 is where he finds himself in, and the bomb is still across the map. Well, not across the map, but across the side. Finds Breaker. That gives him a chance. Is ready for Yuli's peak. 2 and 20 seconds left. Smoke down, and he's making a run for it. This is so beautiful. He will have time to plant, no doubt about it. No rules will be kicking himself. Brilliantly outplayed. And Taven, I'm gonna call it. He is gonna finish it. Will find the last frag. Complete the ace. And the man that ended the first half on the T side with 2 frags starts their T rounds in overtime with an ace. And what an ace at that.
You're banking on that, but guess what? You are banking on it for Riot. There's the ace for Damien. What a mad lad.
I'm not gonna lie, those last couple of seconds I started to doubt myself. But okay.
well, you pulled through. That's
I had to go for it, you know.
Yeah. Now
Once you
though,
make the call, you got to stick to it.
mYinsanity on the match point, and the AWP is back on Anton. Who's been a mad line on it so far? And mYinsanity this time they are stacking B here. They're putting on the hype train right here.
He mobiled up a breaker. He's ready for the frag as well. Spots the second player. HM though. Taking care of the first one. Breaker slides into the side once again. Finds two in the back. Takes down Mush as well as HTM. David once again ready for the trade. Did he just try to fake plant right in front of the CT?
I don't know. 2 HP
It
left
feels
to
like
work
it.
with, and the bomb. Ah, not in the best
He does
spot.
have an AWP though. He does have an AWP.
Yeah, but I mean, the CTs don't have to peek him, right? They should know where the bomb is. They could get
Oh yeah,
angles.
absolutely.
And No Rules also has an AWP, so I think Anton is just hogging that corner for now and waits for the time to run out. Is he though? Getting courageous here. Even stepping now, so they know exactly that he's here, and whips the first shot. There is the backup. Yuli taking him out, and for a moment I thought MY they would rush it through with the insane train, but brakes were pulled just in time.
That's right. And we might still be treated to another overtime if Babos Gaming takes a heart and brings it over the line once more. While mYinsanity is starting to look like they would favor an A execute. They are gifted top of middle pretty much for free, but unbeknownst to them, 4 CT players lying in wait. Quite a bit of utility chucked out to it, eh? The bomb still. Bottom of banana though.
Oh, the timing from Simu even gets into Kabi, gets 3 people, and that surely must bring us into a second OT, but look at that, to the left alive people here. They are on the B side, and there's only one man to stop him, but No Rules. He's not just one man, he's an army, let's be honest.
Quite a questionable play to try and sell a fake with 3 players. Obviously very unfortunate. Nice little one tap there, Simo. Yeah, very unfortunate, of course, if your 3 faking players all go down. It might have been an attempt to AB split as well. That's actually quite a possibility now I come to think of it. But yeah, Daven. Was it Daven and Cubby taking down 3? No, never mind.
Simu, right? It was Simu, I think.
Sorry, obviously it was a CT, Simo, yeah. Oh, Daven was one of them to go down.
Yes.
Yeah, he was the first one to actually push through. Sorry, that's why I was thinking about him. Slightly weird to see that.
Look
No
at
rules.
that.
Had a bit of a chance for a double there. As we obviously go into OT number 2. With mYinsanity on the T side, they do keep on pushing here towards B. But the distance is somewhat massive. 3 players. Ready to deal with them.
But look at that.
No rules.
Yeah, but the
If they
main
push, they have the
problem
bomb.
is... Yeah, the problem is
They
exactly
don't.
that. Devon didn't get the bomb, but... they didn't check that, so... Bakus is just a happy little man walking out of here.
But
Getting...
still fake. Could have fake bit of a B go with his utility, but...
But look at how Babos is set up right now. They have 2 players on each side, and they have Breaker just playing the connector here. Even will find Mush and barely gets away with his life.
That's a bit of a wake-up call. He's ready for that angle. Anton. Out of apartments. And 2 CTs now. Need to make it expensive. Anton finds Hafu. Instantly, Yuli goes down as well. That's Mush with a frag. Babos Gaming. If they go for this and lose those rifles, the 3rd round might get interesting. Economy-wise. it is quite a risk. So if they lose a player instantly, they need to abort right away, I think.
Anton in the battle against No Rules takes him out. Gets
Okay,
traded
1
for
for 1 is
though.
alright.
And now it's all up to
One goes,
Breaker.
yeah.
No life left with to work though. And there is the AWP for Anton. Got back up and first round for mYinsanity. And what a round it was after that. Well, not disaster in Banana, but it could have been a disaster if Babos actually knew that the bomb was there. So, good recovery. Now they have to keep going with it, and why is Mush not buying a real weapon here?
I couldn't really tell you. Maybe a fast play onto the B side with an aggressive Mag 10 flying around corners was sort of thought out, but yeah, look at their HP. They did tank quite a lot of damage there by nades, so that made them think twice about that approach.
Pace has slowed down quite a bit, but we've seen that just in the round before. As mYinsanity is setting up again now, this time around, yet again around A, and they collapsed so fast on it before, so brutally. This time around they have to go up against 3 people though, so one more man firepower to work with, and Safi is actually that man, and he's already making it work.
Is still under a bit of pressure. Anton, massive frag over on B. That might prompt for them to rotate actually. Now question is, how many can Breaker take with him? Not a single one is the answer to that question. That is going to be a bomb plant for free on B. And Babos Gaming a little bit all over the place.
Anton.
First being found, second being found, last man standing is Southie coming in through CT. And this is not looking good. First one found, but left with 20 HP. Trying his best, but his best might not be enough. Well strafe into Buckus, and that's that. mYinsanity once again 2 up over Babos Gaming, 20 to 18. And so far making it work on their T side. This is not boding well for Babos Gaming so far.
Yeah. Let's see whether they can go for the 3-3 this time around, or if Babos can actually... Well, that certainly helps Babos to take around.
Okay.
No rules, just go now, 1D, goodbye. Daven taken out.
I hate to say it, but they need to go for some flashy plays here. Yuli close by with the Deagle. Actually connects onto Bacchus. That's more like it.
Anton
And
also
out
taken
of
out.
nowhere, mYinsanity are starting to struggle. Southie, brilliant play through apartments, finds the bomb. That's going to be at least 1 round on their CT side. As a Mush will approach from CT spawn. Kind of reversed worlds here. All alone on A. Slightly awkward situation. Southie will walk
Nearly
into
caught
him.
him off guard, but... Yeah,
There we go, another very solid run by Southie.
now though, Babos on the T side, which they have, well, quite struggled with, to be frank.
It was certainly their weaker side in regulation, but you know, when it comes to OT, that kind of counts for nothing. It's just 3 rounds being played, full buys, all the way through. And still we do see HTM opting for the shotgun.
Plus we have a double AWP setup here from MYI in OT, so... First one we see, Simu taken out, middle it seems. So that certainly hurts.
Oh, and Anton once again, the struggle continues for Babos Gaming. Down 3 players, It is not looking pretty. mYinsanity mopping the floor right now.
Hewley barely got that frag. 8 rounds left in his magazine. On the close angle versus Anton. He's running though, and still gets the shot on him. And that puts mYinsanity in a pretty good position if we go by the book so far of how
Well,
this map as well.
fabulous position of to clean map points.
Now I wonder what approach Babos going to take. Are they just gonna throw everything at one side and try to see what sticks? Because that's exactly what it looks like. Frags are coming out, but Breaker, he's already down.
Guess who's here? Oh wow!
What an amazing round by Anton there. That holy crap. That was fast.
That was lightning quick. We were accustomed to what he can do on the CT side in top of mid. He's done it time and time again. Guess who's over at B when you try to rush it with an AWP? It's gonna be Anton. So yeah, monster performance by him, no doubt about it. Really, really cool and entertaining game though. I have to say,
definitely, yeah.
Those were two really nice maps that we've seen today. And yeah, I guess both teams need to be happy with what they got. It was to each their map pick, so I guess fair's fair. And it certainly delivered what we were hoping for.
Well, what do you take from that for the upcoming fall season? I mean, if I recall correctly, Babos was in playoffs last season. Went out as 4th though, or 3rd, I don't recall which one of the two it was. So mYinsanity lining up with them is certainly not a bad call. And
no, definitely not. And I have to say, I said at the beginning of our broadcast tonight, it is a difficult toss-up between those two teams. And especially the second map, I guess, showed it where I was coming from with that. And although I did call mYinsanity would win Inferno, I wasn't all that sure about it. And I guess at least this time around, that was somewhat right.
yeah.
It was a close one. And even Overpass being a little bit more one-sided for Babos Gaming, it still had massive potential for mYinsanity. We've seen sick plays all around. And those two teams, honestly, yes, please. I could watch that time and time again.
Well, maybe we'll see them again after regular season. Who knows? They have 8 more weeks ahead of them. I certainly enjoy myself. Were some fancy plays, some strategic plays. Got a little bit of everything to say, and obviously, man, my man of the match. For me, it certainly is Anton. That guy on the Deagle and on the AWP, he's shown some massive stuff. Obviously, still shout out to Davin. That second half of the second map, how he caught himself, and it was his ace, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah. That was also really, really
crazy.
nicely played. I have to say, hats off. That was cool. It's not that often you see a late rotate like this, but every time you see it, it's an absolute highlight. And if it works, if you see an outplay like that, it's just brilliant to see. Yeah. So what more can you say? Thanks, I guess, to both teams. That was really cool.
Yeah, definitely. Also, thanks from my side. It was fun to cast. Next week you're not gonna have me again, but you'll have Syntax if I recall correctly, and then for most of the part you will see my friend here on the broadcast alongside with Remo, who's also back like in 3rd or 4th game, something like that. So you'll see those lovely faces bringing you some more CS:GO action. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah.
It was a pleasure. Thanks so much for being here. Really, really appreciate it. It was really good fun.
Yeah, definitely.
And we certainly could do that again any day.
Well, with that being said, I think that those are good words to close out. Thanks everyone for watching, and see you around next week, hopefully. Bye-bye.
Have a good one.
take away